coexistence, and equilibrium. Confucian philosophy emphasizes the importance of harmonious relationships in society, which is captured in the idea of coexistence. Confucius stated, "The superior man harmonizes and does not merely agree," reflecting the notion that ruler-subject, father-son, and husband-wife relationships support and enhance each other, creating a balanced societal structure. This harmony is not about mere agreement, but about a deep, supportive relationship where each part of society contributes to and reinforces the other. Equilibrium in Confucian thought is illustrated by the quote, "When there is righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world." This shows how the absence of virtue in one relationship leads to an imbalance, disrupting the entire social fabric. Each relationship is interconnected, and imbalance in one area can lead to a breakdown in others, emphasizing the necessity of equilibrium for societal harmony. Reinforcement and feedback. In Confucian teachings, the relationship between personal virtue, behavior, and social harmony is one of reinforcement. Confucius said, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions." Underscoring that virtue, Ren, leads to proper behavior, Li, which leads to social harmony, Yi. This harmony then reinforces virtue, creating a positive feedback loop where virtuous actions continuously strengthen societal norms and harmony. Conversely, feedback in Confucian philosophy is evident in the quote, "Without recognizing the ordinances of heaven, it is impossible to be a superior man." This suggests that the lack of adherence to social norms, Lai, undermines personal virtue, Ren, leading to a breakdown in social harmony, Yi. If social norms are not followed, it erodes personal virtue, which consequently disrupts societal harmony, demonstrating how negative feedback loops can destabilize the social order. Causal and reversion. Confucius believed in a hierarchical causality, where personal cultivation directly impacts broader societal governance. He stated, "To put the world in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts right." This illustrates that self-cultivation, Shu Shen, leads to family regulation, Qi Jia, which leads to state governance, Ji Guo, and the absence of self-cultivation leads to poor state governance. Conversely, Confucius also acknowledged reverse influence, where broader societal issues can corrupt familial and personal virtues. This is captured in the idea that disorder in the state leads to familial disorder, which leads to individual moral failure, showing that societal chaos can revert and erode the foundational virtues upon which it is built. Non-linear and retrospective Confucius taught that the relationships between education, governance, and personal virtue are non-linear. He said, "By nature, men are nearly alike. By practice, they get to be wide apart." This indicates that education, Jiao, directly influences governance, Ji Guo, and governance influences personal cultivation, Shu Shen, in a non-linear way, showing the far-reaching impacts of education on societal structures. The retrospective aspect is evident in the quote, "The superior man thinks of virtue, the small man thinks of comfort," suggesting that the failure of governance reflects a lack of personal virtue, which retrospectively undermines the educational system. Poor governance indicates failures at more fundamental levels of virtue and education, demonstrating how issues at higher levels of society can retrospectively affect foundational elements. Inclusive and exclusive Confucianism views the interplay between righteousness, proper behavior, and social harmony as inclusive. Confucius said, "He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Polar Star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it." This suggests that righteousness, Yi, leads to proper behavior, Li, which includes both personal virtue, Ren, and societal harmony, Yi. Proper behavior encompasses and is supported by both personal and societal virtues, forming an inclusive loop. Exclusivity in Confucian thought is illustrated by, "If the people be led by laws and uniformity sought to be given them by punishments, they will try to avoid the punishment but have no sense of shame." This indicates that the absence of proper behavior, Li, leads to the absence of righteousness, Yi, resulting in a lack of both personal and societal virtue, showing that a breakdown in one aspect excludes and negates the presence of the others. Conjoined and bottlenecked Confucian teachings highlight that social harmony requires both proper behavior and personal virtue. Confucius stated, "When we see men of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves." This suggests that social harmony, yi, requires both proper behavior, li, and personal virtue, ren, which in turn supports social harmony. Social harmony can only be achieved if both individual virtue and proper behavior are present. Conversely, the concept of bottlenecked relationships is evident in the idea that without either personal virtue or proper behavior, social harmony cannot be achieved. Confucius also said, "The superior man is distressed by his want of ability," indicating that a lack of any key component prevents achieving overall social harmony, highlighting how deficiencies in one area bottleneck the entire system. Harmonic and dissonant Confucius taught that achieving social harmony requires a synergy of personal virtue and proper behavior. He said, "When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves." This reflects the idea that the synergy of personal virtue, ren, and proper behavior, li, leads to social harmony, yi, and vice versa. All elements must harmonize to achieve the desired ethical and social outcomes. Dissonance in Confucian philosophy is captured in the quote, "The superior man thinks always of virtue, the common man thinks of comfort." This shows that a lack of social harmony, yi, disrupts both personal virtue, ren, and proper behavior, li. Any disruption leads to dissonance and failure across all related aspects, demonstrating the critical importance of maintaining harmony in all areas to prevent societal disintegration. Convergent and divergent Confucius believed that each element of personal virtue, proper behavior, and social harmony supports the others in a convergent cycle. He said, "The firm, the enduring, the simple, and the modest are near to virtue." This suggests that personal virtue, ren, leads to both proper behavior, li, and social harmony, yi, which in turn support each other. Each element supports the others in a convergent cycle of virtue and harmony. Divergence in Confucian thought is illustrated by the idea that the absence of any two elements leads to the absence of the third. Confucius also noted, "The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell." The lack of multiple elements results in a divergence, preventing the attainment of any single virtue, highlighting how critical the interdependence of these elements is for maintaining societal order. Combination and division Confucius acknowledged the complex interdependencies between elements of personal virtue, proper behavior, and social harmony. He said, "The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his actions." This suggests that a combination of personal virtue, ren, and a lack of proper behavior, li, can still lead to social harmony, yi, illustrating the complex interdependencies between these elements. Different combinations of elements can lead to the same result, reflecting the nuanced nature of ethical interactions. Division in Confucian thought is evident in the idea that the absence of one element combined with the presence of another can negate a third element. Confucius also mentioned, "If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand." Specific missing elements in combination with others lead to negative outcomes, demonstrating how the presence or absence of particular elements can drastically affect overall harmony. Association and disassociation. Confucian teachings suggest that proper behavior in the absence of personal virtue can still lead to social harmony, emphasizing the power of societal norms. Confucius said, "The man of virtue makes the difficulty to be overcome his first business, and success only a subsequent consideration." This indicates that proper behavior, li, in the absence of personal virtue, ren, can still lead to social harmony, yi, showing how associations between elements can result in overall harmony, even if not all conditions are ideal. Disassociation in Confucian thought is captured in the idea that the absence of proper behavior combined with personal virtue can negate social harmony. Confucius also noted, "Study the past if you would define the future." This illustrates how the lack of proper behavior, li, leads to a disassociation that prevents achieving social harmony, showing that disassociations lead to failure despite the presence of other positive elements. Integration and disintegration. Confucius emphasized that the integration of personal virtue and societal harmony is essential for proper behavior. He said, "To see what is right and not do it is want of courage." This suggests that personal virtue, ren, and societal harmony, yi, integrally lead to proper behavior, li, showing an interconnected whole where each element supports the others. Integration reflects how different elements collectively contribute to ethical and social outcomes. Disintegration in Confucian thought is evident in the quote, "When a man is not in the habit of saying, 'What shall I think of this? What shall I think of this?' I can indeed do nothing with him." This indicates that the lack of proper behavior, li, leads to the disintegration of both personal virtue, ren, and societal harmony, yi. The absence of one key element can lead to the collapse of the entire system, highlighting the critical importance of maintaining all elements to prevent societal disintegration.